did Josh say? For an unknown reason, Josh recognized Clarence right away among the line of other patients in the hospital. Do you mean they knew each other already? I think so. Josh was upset and brought out his gun. He was going to kill Clarence. What? I couldn't keep myself from screaming. I ran from the waiting area and threw myself against Josh. Why the hell does he want to kill Clarence? Everyone stared at us and at Josh and his gun. I burst into tears as I realized how badly Josh will punish me for this. For saving your brother? Maybe that. But for making Josh look bad. Right there in the middle of public. I felt so bad for myself. You shouldn't be. You did the right thing. What is Josh doing now? I'll get to that part of the story. Okay. The nurses arrived and took Josh. They guided him out of the hospital. He may be a famous man, but he had a gun. I went back to my seat in the waiting area. I'm glad they had the common sense to take him out. I buried my head in my hands and sobbed as quietly as I can. I don't remember how long I was like this. Probably long. I know how long you sobbed. My sobbing was interrupted by a crash. I lifted my head to see Josh and his brothers hitting away the glass of the window. Again? That was next to Clarence's bed. One brother had a baseball bat. The other only looked on. What's wrong with your husband's family? My husband was pointing his gun at my brother. No. I ran away from my seat and threw myself over my brother, screaming for them to stop. The nurses pulled a gigantic shelf. The nurses should have gunned those guys down. The nurses covered the window with the shelf as guards outside the window began to pull Josh and his brothers away. Good. That's how it should be done. The doctor also arrived and told me that Clarence should be hidden in a hidden room in the hospital. That is so nice of him. I'm glad he's a doctor. The nurses took Clarence with his bed and his IV tubes, rolling them on their wheels out of the room. I imagine they were in a hurry. Yes, they were so fast that I had to run in order to keep up. The hospital was just a small window. As long as they keep your brother safe, it's fine. The hidden room the doctor spoke of turned out to be the stock room. What? At the door of the room, the nurses stopped. They left Clarence and me at the door and hurried into the room, saying they'll clear away the boxes first. Poor people. While they were away, Clarence spoke. He's been awake? Apparently, he's been. Just pretending to be asleep, pull my IV tubes. Get me out of here. I was so confused. I asked, what's going on? I am as confused as you. I know why they were after me, he said. I asked him why. Demons, he said. What about demons? I recognized it by their smell. Your husband and his family are possessed by the worst form of demons. I smelled them. Only now that I'm human, I always sense that. And they obviously also know what I am. Why did you marry him? Why? LOL. His face was filled with disdain, and it made me feel guilty, so I busied myself with carefully removing his IV tubes. Soon, I was guiding him down the corridor. You escaped from the hospital? Yes. I took him to the parking lot, where I found my husband's Porsche, without anyone to guard it. So you had married Josh for his Porsche. Shut up, Brian. You're making me feel worse. At least your brother agrees with me. He didn't say he agreed with you. He's just upset that I married Josh. It's sort of the same thing. Are you really dragging me into another jealous argument? Alright, you may go on with the story. I still have the key with me, so I drove Clarence out of there. In Josh's Porsche. Damn. I'm planning to take my brother to Canada, somewhere far away, where we can start a new life. I hope you'll let me join you. As long as you stop arguing. As long as Josh is no longer on. Deal. Yay. I am now waiting at a gas station because apparently all the bottles of water that Clarence had drunk in the yacht, those ones, have taken their toll on him, and he requires a bathroom break. He just finished his bathroom break now. Good. You can get going now. And he's returning to the car. Oh no. What is it? Josh and his family just arrived. No. They are in his brother's van. They U-turned to us, out of the gasoline station. How is everything? I can't believe you're still there. What do you mean? Josh and his family chased us along the mountain close. He was honking his horn, demanding for me to stop. But did you stop? I never stopped. Whenever I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw him gesticulating violently. Then you shouldn't look. Yeah, I stopped looking and just pressed on the accelerator as I sped through the dusty road. I'm glad you didn't fall off. I heard Josh and his family open fire. They were shooting at us. We were lucky. We didn't get hit. Lucky indeed. I can imagine they used high-grade weapons. They did. It just happened to be used against them. What do you mean? As I drove, I heard an explosion and eclipsed their van, burst into flames and a billowing black smoke. Really? What happened to them? I stopped and watched them. It took me a long time to realize my jaw had dropped in amazement. I turned to the back of the car to speak to Clarence, but Clarence was no longer there. All that was left behind was a piece of paper with a letter hastily written on it. I now could recognize your husband and his family. Who are they? They are the Antichrist, the humans that were meant to start the end of this world. That's much worse than I had guessed. My important task is to stop them. I see. I'll climb up to the skylight and jump over to their van. I'll shoot their car engine with their own gun. There's no other way to do this. Why does it have to be Clarence to do it? Goodbye, Autumn. I love you. Please take good care of yourself. This letter will burn after you read this. Oh no, don't make me cry now. The letter burst into gentle flames in front of me, swallowing the paper into ashes and then disappeared, in the same way that he came quickly. I had been sobbing here in my seat. It's like all the light in the world suddenly turned to darkness. I'm so sorry. And then you texted. I remembered I'm still alive.